What's up, everyone? Coming at you live from Dallas, Texas. How you doing, my friend?
They say everything's bigger in Texas, and so we will be finding out whether the comic calls hold true to that as well. So do appreciate everybody for hanging out with us tonight in faith, or the ones that are already currently here. Do appreciate it either way, or the ones that are watching the rewind. As long as you are subscribed to either of our and both of our channels, and you have hit the like button. So yeah, so Shelby and I both ended up over in Dallas yesterday, and we Shelby more appropriate actually had put together a itinerary for today of hitting up several different comic, game, toy shops, and we hit those up. So we're going to show off some of this stuff, and then towards the end of the video, we'll actually be talking about Dallas Fan Expo. So at the outset of this video, I do want to go ahead and say thank you to Dallas Fan Expo for having us again this year. And if you are in the greater Dallas area and want to come out and say, hey, tomorrow or most of the day, Friday, that's June the 9th and 10th, then feel free to do so. Hit us up on the IGs, all that kind of good stuff. So
that's right. Come and find us. Of course, I'll be wearing my Shelby Comics t-shirts. You can't miss me, and usually you can find me from my voice. And Southern Comic Geek will have a shirt on that says "Kick Me" if you've subscribed to Southern Comic Geek. So
it sounds like a good idea, but that's probably pretty good marketing. But I don't have a shirt like that, so I'm not sure whether or not I'll be wearing my Hulk shirt tomorrow or my Batman shirt.
If you subscribe, he will give you a ride in his wagon.
Sure.
Yeah. So. Oh man. So yeah, we had a big day today. I set up a little itinerary. We are smack dab in the middle of Dallas. So I picked a few things that I would normally go to that maybe be out of Southern Comic Geek's wheelhouse a little bit, but I thought I could broaden his nature some. So we hit up a couple of antique malls and checked out some booths and stuff. And you know, you never know what goodies you're gonna find. I'll go and tell you, if we didn't find those hidden gems as much as I'd hoped, but it was still a good time and stuff. And did pick up a few things. What do we pick up? I picked up a few things. A few comic books here. First one is nothing fancy, just new X-Men, but it's still bagged up. Someone had this mail, they had a subscription, and yeah, so it's still bagged beautifully with the subscription card and stuff. And yeah, so Anita Cunningham, I now own your book.
Well, maybe Anita was buying it for her kid, or maybe it was for her.
Yeah, suck it, Anita.
Well, you know, and Anita, if she was buying that for her kid, she probably looked at that Emma Frost cover and said, nada.
Said nada. So, but yeah, I mean, bait is cover price and a little over cover price, but still, yeah, really cool cover. Frank Quietly cover, which I love his run. Him and Morrison, Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly, great work. You need to read that if you hadn't read it. And then in the 80s, Bill Sienkiewicz, started out mainly as a cover artist. And he did about 3 or 4 covers for ROM. This must be a cover that didn't get picked for ROM, but they put it on Marvel Age. So it's one of the diaries, really cool Bill Sienkiewicz cover. You know, I love his old signature that he did back then with the B and the S. But yeah, really cool Bill Sienkiewicz Marvel Age cover. So, what about you? Did you find anything at the little antique stores or?
Yeah, I bought a couple of things. You know, I didn't really. I've since I got so much at Titan, which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about that here and all of
that. I did pick up this. This is probably this was not the first one that we went to, but the second one.
Yeah.
and this was a Nintendo Power. Now they actually had the first Nintendo Power, which is a big book for those of you who are in the know. They wanted, what was it, 350 for it or something?
350, and I didn't pay attention. There's two versions of that. One that if you were a subscriber to the Nintendo, because there was another thing before Nintendo Power that they used to do, and if you were part of the fan club and used to subscribe to that, they sent you a Nintendo Power 1 for free, and on that cover it says, free copy, whatever. But then they sold it also at retail, and in the Starburst where it says free copy, it has the price. So, but yeah, that's about right. I thought it was around 350 for that book, even.
It was it was much used, shape. Now, the big thing about this is one of the, I think, 2 or 3 that showcase the Turtle books. But the bigger thing about this is this little thing right here, which is unpublished art sent in by Jeffrey Scott Campbell. Y'all ever heard of him? Jeffrey Scott Campbell?
That's
and it actually shows a picture of young J. Scott Campbell right there.
That's funny.
And he's got a mullet and everything. Crazy. But and so that's the bigger thing about this particular book. So I really would have liked it to be in a little bit better shape. I've got magazine bags and boards, but I really like to. I wonder if they got like magazine Mylars. I don't need enough to buy like 100 packs.
Top loaders, I think, but I'm not sure I've seen magazine Mylars.
Yeah, something just to kind of spruce it up a little bit, Mylar it out.
I can press it for you if you want.
Yeah, maybe a press will do everything I need to do with it. But yeah, so that was probably the biggest book that I got at that particular shop. I also got at that shop this. Now, Shelby mentioned earlier that it broadened my horizons. Look, my collecting is already eclectic enough. It doesn't need any extra craziness to it. But as y'all know, most of the time my backdrop is a Monopoly board. So I got the Super Nintendo version of the Monopoly guy. So I got that, and I picked up a couple of more, which we'll share in just a minute because we got from a different store. But I got a lot of other little knick-knack, paddywhack stuffs. Nothing too terribly much to write home to mom about in those antique malls, but they were fun. Saw some other cool stuff I was able to pass on. Now, when we went to Titan Comics, now Titan is a big store. For those of you who are in Dallas, I'm sure you're very aware of Titan.
Yeah, so really quick for the antique mall. So the first one we went to is this one. This is Antique Gallery, and they were super nice. The guy, we walked in as soon as they opened. He was super nice, helped us out, showed us around. I mean, because antique malls are huge places. Helped us, direct us to booths and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I thought the 2 old ladies were going to adopt you at the second one. They were super nice. They put up with your jokes better than I do. But yeah, they were super sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, both of them were great, and like Shelby mentioned earlier, the thing with antique malls, it's supposed to be a chance of rain. The wind was blowing earlier, Carlos. But I'm looking outside now. It looks great. The weather outside's nice. Friday's supposed to be really great and sunny. So because we're right up from the convention center. We're just going to walk.
I can actually see.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, out of my window over here. I'm facing that direction.
So Carlos collects, and some of his crew will be here tomorrow at some time.
All the good parts of the crew, I think.
Yeah, well, anytime you can leave Paul behind is definitely a plus. I'm sure when Paul was like, Carlos, me and Billy, we can't go. And Carlos was like, okay. Yeah, it was raining here when I got here
Yeah,
last
it
night.
rained last night, but
Not
today was
bad,
a beautiful day. It was 88 degrees. It felt more like 108 degrees. Getting around, the Dallas area is what I complain about a lot because it's just so many expressways and highways and I know it scared probably a few more hairs off of Jason's head. Um,
I'm glad his brakes work. That's all I know. I was doing the old man brake stop, It wasn't working either. But yeah, so but I think we were talking about
oh
Titan.
yeah, so no, right before Titan. Well, with Titan first. Do you want to go ahead and Titan's probably a big. It don't matter. However you want to do it. We can do it in the order we went. Hey,
Yeah.
well, let's.
Well, I wasn't going to show off everything I got,
Yeah,
just like some of the bigger stuff.
yeah. I got a bunch
Because
of stuff back there on the bed that y'all ain't gonna see.
yeah, I have a disease called completionism, and so anyway, that's where some of the little odds and ends stuff that I was able to pick up at a shop like Titan, because Titan not only has um, a big selection of new books, so I can catch up on stuff that my shop doesn't get in, and I'm too lazy to put on a pull. Or they also have a good selection of backstock. Now, Titan also has, and Carlos or anybody else that is going to be, so Titan does have a sale going on right now. So 10% off statues, 20% off back issues, hardbacks, soft covers, and then 25 off
June
Funko
10th.
Pops. It does
June
not
10th.
include their bigger like case books. It does not include the new books, but it does include, like, if you're looking to try to fill some runs, or like in Shelby's case, they were he was looking to pick up some stuff to sell. Now, Hoarder's Hide says, if it's not art, does it really even matter? Now, I know that you're a Dale Gohlke guy. Shelby is too. He's kind of a snob when it comes to grades. So there were several Gohlke and Dale books of the various sorts. But Shelby didn't pick up any because he's got a big lead on some.
That was. You're thinking of the stuff at Duncanville. He had a big.
Yeah.
Duncanville was the last stop. So
Right.
we had 2 antique malls. Started our journey at 9 a.m. Went up to Carrollton, Texas, and then made our way south. And so we hit. I agree with you. I was just telling Jason that last night about Dell 4 Colors.
Yeah.
So we hit 2 antique malls. Then we went to Titan. So let's see. I think I only have one book I want to show off from Titan because the rest were things that I bought to get signed.
Yeah.
Carlos, you'll like this if you don't have it already. I didn't have it yet, but Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Marvel Comics, 1980s. They did Pope John Paul, they did Brother somebody, and then they did Mother Teresa. So I now have all 3 of the Marvel Christian comics that was put out by Marvel. So this completes that Marvel. I mean, it's only 3 issues, 3 books. So pretty cool to be able to pick that up. Jason was praying to Mother Teresa for my driving, and he's still alive, so it must have worked. So
yeah, more than Mother Teresa, that's for sure. But yeah, so so I was able to actually seen this right here. This is Suicide Squad number 23.
He went straight to the case looking. I was like, what? How did you know that?
So Titan actually posted on their IG that they had a video on their Facebook page. So I went over there, which I'm not big on Facebook. So I went over there and and saw it, so I knew they had this. So this is the first appearance in Cameo of Oracle. It's a computerized voice only. So this is Suicide Squad 23. And nice high grade there. And Defenders number 10, 20 cent goodness, Hulk and Thor battling it out right here. So nice and decent grade there. The only book I lack for my Darkhawk run, Darkhawk Annual 3. So you know how these last issues can be, and certainly the last annual, as much the same way as the last few issues. They're just hard to get a hold of. So I was able to score this one. Every time that my comic shop sends me a notification that they got one of those available, I'm not where I can get to it. And by the time I do, it's already gone. So I was able to pick that one up. And also Guardians of the Galaxy number 11. Now, this is a newer book. This is actually the 2099 variant. It's not the cover I really wanted, but it's not for the cover that free comics. Yes. Or free comics. Are you coming to Dallas Fan Expo tomorrow or Saturday? So
let us know.
Shelby, make the screen big so everybody can see this if you don't mind.
I will make you big, I think. I can remove you. Can I do that? Oops.
Why'd you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So this is from Guardians of the Galaxy 11. Scott was, or Hortus Howard was talking about original art. I actually picked up the original DPS of this scene right here, which is essentially a who's who in galactic Marvel. I mean, you got Beta Ray Bill, you got
Chubb from the X-Men Starjammers.
You got Bug from Micronauts. You got Darkhawk. You got Firelord, Terrax, Quasar, Major Victory from Guardians of the Galaxy, the OG version. Mantis, Drax, Cosmo, Gamora, Beta Ray Bill, Groot, Star-Lord. I mean, it's just like a whole who's who. And I like to have a physical copy if I've got a piece of art. So I had seen this art on Cadence Comic Art, who reps the artist that did this. And they had a sale on his art in particular, Corey Smith. And I know that Scott from Hoarder's Hide, I mentioned that sale to him. He actually went on there and got some of Corey's art too. So bought a cover original art lately of this profile logo, so I'm broke. Let me console you here. I understand your pain. I have to live with Hillary. Think about my pain. Okay. All right. So there you go. That's the reason why I've been wanting to get that. It's not a big key or anything like that. So you got to go to a place. If you're not ordering online, you got to go to a place where you can get a good selection like they have at Titan. So
for sure.
And so that sale runs. What was the dates on that?
10th to the 10th till the 10th.
So got a couple more days if y'all are in the area and needing something. Go check them out.
Yeah, is really. I love going to Titan. They got a great selection. I did find out.
Thank you.
So, like, there were some books. It's like, man, I wish I'd like to get more than one copy of. Mm-hmm. But all their books are barcoded, and they have a huge selection, right? So, but they only put out one copy at a time.
Okay.
Whenever I was talking to the lady, she's like, yeah, we scan it in, and that tells us that we need to restock that issue.
Well, that's
like, oh, so y'all have, she's like, yeah, we can't keep multiple copies out there or else they'll get too packed, right?
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It makes sense, but, you know.
How fast I would go for like maybe 2 issues.
I would too. I would too.
But, now there was one other one. Now, for those of you who are in the know, the David Finch 1-in-25 ratio covers that he did for the Second Coming run are phenomenal. So I was able to pick up one of them here at Titan.
Mm.
Now, Mike Choi is actually going to be at Dallas Fan Expo, but I don't plan on getting him to sign this. At some point, I might get David Finch to sign it. I've got two slabs of two of my other ones that I have. This might only be my third one because there's several I need still that he signed on them. So I might wait and just have like a set of them all signed by him. We'll see. But that was another one that I was able to pick up for them. So it was $15 on a $25 ratio and then minus 20% off. So wasn't too terribly bad comparatively.
No, like I said, I bought quite a few things just to get signed because I'm not as forethoughtful, precognizant as Southern Comic Geek is, and in the know of what books and stuff to gather up. So I did probably spend a little too much now that I'm looking at like I had, but yeah. Let's see, Jeremy Titan, who saw my first original art. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely a rabbit hole that I didn't think I was going to go down. And
we never
people
think
like Scott,
those.
People like Scott from Hoarder's Hide and others have led me down a horrible path that has led me to financial ruin.
He tried to get me last night to look at some books. I'm like, nope.
Yep. Shelby's trying to strand the straight and narrow.
I have enough with video games and everything else. So
there's a good segue to our next place.
It is. So our next place, we went to
Retro.
We went to Retro Madness. And if y'all don't know Retro Madness, they have three locations around the Dallas area. This is the old school one, and I kind of like it. They got it's just a weird little shopping center. They got this cool mural outside. I don't even think this is the same mural anymore, to be honest with you. But right here is Retro Madness. There's a great arcade right next to it. There's a horror shop over on the other side, and then a vintage clothing store. So, if you're ever in the area, definitely go check out Retro Madness. Great selection of anything from G.I. Joe. We saw Thundercats, Masters of the Universe. Try to get Jason to go home with this huge Batman play set, but he wouldn't do it. But yeah, just a super great. And of course, video games. That's one of the reasons why, I have to admit, I was a little, had ulterior motives there. Try to do a little video gaming. But I did pick up two things. One is it's going to need some cleaning. These labels are on the art and stuff. I'm trying to finish up that GameCube collection, and this was the last hockey game I needed. So pick that up. And so I'll point this out, Southern, is just like I'm a condition snob with comic books, the sports games are licensed. So I only buy them when they still have the license hologram on the cover. So this one still had the National Hockey League license hologram on the cover. So I bought it, and of course, it's got to be complete in box, and so got that.
I read comics. I read comics says I have that hockey game.
Yeah, yeah, I just saw that. Yeah. Uh,
And Scott from Horderside made a great comment earlier that there is a fine line between being an influencer and a bad influence.
that's true. That's true. Um, and so I've been getting into Sega Genesis. That's since I'm just about complete. I've got 40 games left to complete the GameCube collection. So I've now started picking up a few Sega Genesis, and I needed this. So I found a Sonic and Knuckles complete in box with the instruction manual, beautiful cart. So if y'all don't know about this, Sonic 1 came packaged with the game. Then there was Sonic 2. They could not fit the whole game on Sonic 2. So what they did was they put out this Sonic and Knuckles. This is actually part 2 of Sonic 2. And it's not a cartridge. It's not like a game cartridge that you would see. It is this that slips in, you pull the open, and then you put Sonic 2 inside of it, and it will play the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Game Genie or something like that. It was just an extension of the cartridge.
Yeah,
but
now you can play just Sonic and Knuckles straight off of this and not put in another cart. But what I'm saying is if you put in Sonic 2, then you can play the full game in its entirety the way it was intended. So, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then you can put any Sonic game in here, and you can change the character. Instead of playing as Sonic, you can play as Knuckles. So you can change the sprite. But the box isn't in perfect shape. It's got like I said, the instruction manual and stuff. So I've really been looking for a nice copy of this. And I had to remind the person, and that was the owner there that we were talking to. He is the actual owner. I had to keep reminding him that he knew me.
Well, yeah. Well, I knew you had an ulterior motive to that, right? It's like
he gave me a discount.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's about $120 worth, and he gave me about a $20 discount. So,
well, when I asked for
this really ugly Hulk, because I love picking up ugly figures, and he's got like the Homer Simpson eyes. Sure, if it'll focus.
Dope. Yeah, put your hand behind him. There you go. There you go. Do it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So really ugly. I looked under the light too. This is from 1993. So don't know what it's from or anything. He's got a hole, but yeah, really cool. All right, go ahead.
So when I asked this guy for a discount just for being further away, he goes for $20.
Yeah, come on, yeah. I mean, I spent 110.
So yes. So similarly, Shelby showed me the Monopoly Mega Plus cartridge. Now, this is for the original Sega.
This is for the Sega Master System.
And so it actually
and what's funny is they misspelled. Yeah, show them.
Monopoly. The way they separated on this cartridge, but it does have the instruction manual still in the case. A friend of mine had this system. This wasn't a very big system, I don't think, compared to its successors. But they also had the original Nintendo game. So these will be joining the top of the Monopoly board behind me there. Yeah, it is a debilitating disease for sure.
So, and I don't know where it's at. Also got a Titan pin. Anyway. All right. So after we got through that,
Got a shot as a kid not to get
get
money.
Molly. That's funny. Um, so it was late in the afternoon. I was supposed to be somewhere, but Southern Comic Geek said, "Come on, you want to go to Duncanville?" Duncanville Bookstore is probably one of my probably the favorite comic book store when I come to the Dallas area. I've known Andy, the owner, for God, 15 years now. And it's just a great store, great selection, good prices. There's not much else. Good toy selection. Not much you can really say about, nothing bad you can really say about the place. So, you'll take turns or.
Well, and so talking about Duncanville, so kind of wondered whether or not to go because they're actually going to be at Fan Expo, and by the time we got there, they had already loaded up their stuff and their bigger wall books, but there's very few things that I'm actually big looking for that they might or might not have had. Their bigger stuff to me, just me, seems like overpriced, a little on the high side, but they do have some good medium price stuff. And like, they'll have like the 25% bins, off bins and that type of thing. And that's where I got.
He'll take his 50% off bins to the con. And then like Southern said, the higher price stuff. Sorry to interrupt. Good.
No problem. So I actually picked up a few Dynamic Forces variants. Now, back in the day, of course, X-Men 1 is one of the issues that you can blame for multiple variant covers, right? I mean, there were others that came before it, and certainly plenty of them that came after it. But by and large, that X-Men Volume 2 in the early 90s was devoid of a lot of variant covers. However, when Dynamic Forces came to, I don't think this is a Dynamic Forces variant of this issue.
No, I saw several copies in the box, and I was trying to figure it out.
But this is
I don't know what it is.
This is a variant to issue 62. Now, this one is a Dynamic Forces. This is a copy of issue 80. Joe Quesada cover.
Underrated artist, in my opinion.
Issue 100 foil cover from Dynamic Forces. And then Uncanny X-Men 360 Dynamic Forces. Now, this is done by Jay Lee. Now, I'm not going to get him to sign this, but he will be at the con as well. So, what'd you pick up from?
I actually,
I would say, and before Shelby shows it, not to spoil anything because I'll let him show it, but I think that Shelby picked up the bigger book there, a really neat book off of the wall, which was able to pick up. Now, Duncanville says, or Free Comics, Duncanville bookstores are dope and have a lot of cool selections. Yeah.
So I copied Southern. I did pick up the Dynamic Forces variant. There's a couple of copies and has the COA on the back. Limited to 15,000 copies, which was a limited run for the 90s. When you're talking about runs being in the millions,
right?
15,000 was considered limited, right?
Yeah,
15,000 today is big. Is big.
Hey, so what number were you on that one?
I'm number 8,312.
Okay, mine is 6,415.
Okay.
It's funny that in that same store you have them so far apart.
So far apart. But so 15,000 was a limited run for back in the day. So I had to pick one of these up too. I really liked it. It's Quesada with Jim Palomati doing the inks. I really like the cover a lot.
Yeah.
And then I saw this one in the same stack. I don't recognize the artist, but the art reminds me a lot of Sam Keith, and it was just a really cool cover.
That's Chris. That's Bocello.
No, it says Townsend.
Oh, that Tim Townsend.
Yeah.
But usually Townsend usually inks Bocello's work, so that's why.
So maybe Bocello.
But
with
it might be
Townsend.
Townsend by himself, but he
Yeah.
normally inks his work.
But it's a really cool variant cover I hadn't seen, so I picked that up, and I did like this run of X-Men. Bacalo doing the art inside, which isn't bad art for these. So
That's what I just. You said not Bacalo. That's Chris Bocello is what I said. I mean,
what did I? Okay, yeah, Bocello. Sorry,
so we were talking about the same person, but okay.
We are. We're talking about the same person. Did you have more? Because I actually had this, and I had some other. I forgot about these other things.
No, that was all I got from Duncanville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I picked up just some stuff myself. Not in the perfect shape. It's got a really bad misstaple, but I don't think I've ever seen this. Pretty nice copy, Son of Vulcan, a Charlton book. Just kind of crazy looking.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that book too.
Yeah. And I love when you see weird stuff like this, the time to buy it is when you see it. So also added another book to the Spidey Super Stories collection that I'm trying to complete.
What's up, Warlord? I was just saying.
Hey, Warlord.
Hey.
Now, this book was weird. $50. And, you think, what the hell, man? $50. I mean, it's got to be a small print run. Sherlock Holmes, #1, DC Comics, probably 1973, 1974. But what was interesting to me, look who the artist is. And if you recognize the dinosaur signature, that's Walt Simonson. So I just thought that was too crazy. Walt Simonson doing the art for this Sherlock Holmes DC book. I saw this. I thought this was a fair price, and they have it at 7.0, which I don't know, for black cover. Plastic Man #8. Nice Silver Age book. And for a black cover, it's not. I mean, you can't see any noticeable spine ticks. It does have some, but overall, a really clean cover.
Yeah, and that red really pops too. Still.
Pops. So yeah. So I had to pick that up. I've been trying to pick up a few odd DCs here and there, and then the one that Southern was alluding to, I saw this on the wall, and the cover just struck me. It's Kirby artwork. I'm almost sure it's either that or Dick Ayers. But the color struck me. This Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, #16. And it's so hard to find these early ones in really good shape. And just that orange and yellow color and the thick outline. It's got the Nazi flag in the back. But what I saw was this right here. It has a star stamp.
Yeah, make yourself big so everybody can see it.
Make yourself big so everybody can see it. That's you again. So it's got a star stamp. Now, I knew this, Jason and I both, as soon as we saw it, said that was too early for a Mark Jeweler. And it is. It's 1965. So it's even older than me. But star stamps aren't just indicative of Mark Jewelers. Star stamps is any military base whenever they sold something like a magazine or a comic book, they put a star stamp on it to show that it was purchased. So I don't know, for whatever reason, right? Maybe you didn't do receipts or something. I have no idea how PXs work. Okay, I'm not in the military, but they would stamp them. So all this means is that it was, not a Mark jeweler, but it was purchased on a military base. So that just adds a little bit more history to me, Vietnam era, Sergeant Fury, World War II, military base. I mean, and just an amazing orange and yellow cover. I mean, I don't think you can get much better than that in
Well,
terms of just cool nostalgia. And of course, you get that cool thing saying,
the Mary Marvel
join
March.
the Mighty Marvel Marching Society. So,
Well, and so yeah, bring me back in. But yeah, so I know Dick Ayers did the interiors. I don't know about the cover, but that's a Stan Lee story. So yeah, it's a really cool cover. Yellows are still pretty vibrant on that
it's
too.
amazing.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. You see the big Nazi eagle, the Nazi symbol and stuff. Desert. So it'd been North Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very cool. Happy to add that to the whole collection, even though it's $90. And the guy, oh my God, don't even get me started on what's his name? What was his name? Bubba?
His
Billy?
name not Bubba. You try to call him Tank.
I tried to call him Tank.
I don't
And he's
remember.
like, no, I'm Bo, or something like that.
Yeah, he was a little. He wanted to make sure Shelby wasn't gonna mess something up.
Well, they had these, these things you could have bought them. They probably were purchased in the '90s. Like when I owned my store, I remember them being sold by Diamond or Capital City. These slots that you could, and they just hang on the wall. I don't know, maybe So yeah, there's a sign on one of the slots saying, "Please ask for assistance." Right. So I look over at the guy and I'm like, he's like, "Yes." He's like, "I want a book." Okay, I'll come help you. And he comes over and he's standing right there beside me, and I'm like, "I can just pull it out real quick." He's like, "No, that's why we have the sign." Right. I'm like, "All right, whatever then, Bubba, Tank, whatever your name." So I told him later when I got there, I said, "I thought you were in a bad mood." So he got nicer after that.
Well, and
Anyway.
so yeah, so I mean, and me, I mean, I get if I'm buying and paying for that much, if I buy it at a show, I'm asking them, hey, I want to open the book. I want to make sure it's complete.
Oh, I forgot about that. Right. So when I saw the star stamp, Jason Southern and I were both confused. So I asked if I could open the book and look at it. He said no. And we're both looking at each other like, no, I can't take the book out of the sleeve. And he's like, no, I'll put that grade to the Pepsi challenge. You can trust us that it's graded right. Well, that's not why I want to look at it. I'm not arguing about the grade or anything. I was fair with the grade, fine with the grade. If anything, I think it's a little bit higher grade than an 8.5, if you ask me. There's a Marvel overhang on the top, and so there is a little 1/8 tear, which may keep it out of a 9.0 category, thus putting it at 8.5. But otherwise, it's a beautiful book. I forgot, at the second place we went to, I did pick up this cool Star Wars laser disc. Southern was about to fight me over it because he thought it was the record. And I had to explain to him it's the laser disc. And he's like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't want it then." But yeah, if you don't know what laser discs are, they're like huge CDs that we used to have movies on that were high definition and stuff. I would like to get a Laserdisc player one day. I don't know. And then yesterday on my way into town, I stopped at this place called Black Cat Records and Comics. And I go in, I'm looking around, not much in the comics area and stuff. And I kind of turn the corner and I just happened to look down and I saw these.
Wonder Woman.
12-inch. So Wonder Woman, Power Records.
Oh,
Is that cool? Children's Treasury of Batman musical stories, Joker, all of it. Beautiful, beautiful. Batman. So I actually have this Batman. I have the Wonder Woman. Mine are in rough shape. These are in beautiful shape. I mean, they're not near mint or anything, but look at the artwork on the back of this one.
mm-hmm.
But they're in really nice shape. And yeah, cool artwork on the back. Yeah, I have just the sleeve. I've never owned the hey, Dingo.
How is things down south?
And then
Hey, better late than never. But yeah, those are really cool. And I was telling Shelby when he was
these are
looking
very cool.
at the laser disc, I thought they were records.
Tell Mike I've got your records now. But I'll go and tell you, these are in great shape. Some of the sleeves aren't 100% perfect, but the records are. And why I say that is because they had another Batman behind the counter. And I was like, you're holding out on me. What's that Batman? He's like, oh, no. That one has a scratch on and it doesn't play. We test all the records and they all play properly before they're put out. So yeah, these are in great shape, playable and stuff. Now I just need to get a record player. So, and I can sit there in my rocking chair and listen to Batman stories.
Yeah, so I was telling Shelby that I had found some of the old books that they would tell it would chime to turn the page on the record. And so I was playing it on my record player at home, and the kids were just enthralled, and telling them, okay, every time it chimes like that sound, and because they were just looking at it and touching the record. I'm like, no, you can't do all that.
Were they pushing it like an iPad? Like, why isn't this thing turning on?
Well, they went to try to essentially scratch the record, moving the needle over. I'm like, no.
What is this antiquated thing, Daddy?
Right. So
is this the way poor people used to listen to music?
Yeah, exactly.
Before TV?
What's up, Phil?
What's up,
Phil? So let's talk about Fan Expo. I know that
let's talk about Fan Expo.
I know that Shelby, I think, has got some stuff pulled up that you were going to show.
I got stuff pulled up. So they have dropped the exclusives, some of the exclusives. Now, I know they always have a ton more exclusives than these. But for Fan Expo 2023, the tote bag, $6. These bags are super great. I have an old one around here that I carry with me to every con. They are super huge, almost IKEA-like, and I've been carrying mine around for about 5 years, and it's still not worn out. $6, great investment. Don't buy a lanyard; they'll give you a free one. Expo pin, $10. You can get a shirt. United by Fandom is always their motto. You can't zoom in on any of these products, so I can't tell what the artwork is. I have no idea. They have some pin sets, some DC, some Marvel, some Harry Potter, and some Spider-Man. They also have always a bunch of exclusive pops. They have Kirk and Spock about to do some Roman wrestling. I don't know what they're doing. They have a Stranger Things 2-pack, Nancy and Robin. Gamora and Nebula 2-pack, little glow. I don't know if they glow in the dark, but
It's like black, look like black light.
Black light. There you go. Big Mom with Homies. I have no idea what that is.
So yes, I did bring my cart.
Yes, he brought his cart. A Star Lord, and it looks black light also.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a cool. I don't really collect a lot of pops, but I do like this version of Hercules. This is kind of like the Bob Layton version of Hercules. I do kind of like this. They have a Charmander, and then a Digital Stan. South Park Digital Stan. Artist series Shuri. That does look kind of cool. And then Kaboom cereal. The Kaboom clown. I remember Kaboom cereal. We didn't eat that. Anyway, a lot of exclusive comics. Mad Love, #1, the Dallas edition. So what they do is right here on this card, they'll have this same book at every con, but it'll say Dallas or New Orleans or Florida or wherever they go. This little area will be printed differently, but it is a cool Harley Joker cover. I like this. It looks like germ art to me. I'm not positive because you can't zoom in and see. And it could be in Hook Lee. They all have a very similar style, but Trade and Virgin, 1525 respectively. Trade in Full for Batman Beyond, #1, 1525 respectively. Venom Lethal Protector, #2. Again, I can't tell who the artist is, but Trade and Virgin. I've seen this book around. That's what I was telling Southern early. It seems like a few of these I have seen before. Batman 423, the McFarlane cover full. Superman Trade in Full. Batman and the Joker Deadly Duo.
So the thing with the foil, now that might be a different foil, but Fan Expo, they have so many of them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they print them and they don't sell them all, so they end up at other Fan Expos. So
yes, I agree.
Could be that.
I wish I could see what this image was because I'm a huge FF fan. Fantastic
Black
Four.
Panther.
I think Black Panther because 52 is the first appearance of Black Panther.
Yeah, it's Black Panther.
So yeah, pretty cool, black and white. I'm definitely gonna pick those up. A Do You Poo? I don't care. This is a kind of cool cover. Little homage to Frank Miller's Dark Knight, but the Dark Knight Returns #1. So I guess it's a reprint facsimile with a different cover. Daredevil #1. Trade and Virgin. And I wish I could see who this artist was for this Spider-Man trade and sketch cover.
Well, the Daredevil one is Alan Qua, who will be there. And then, of course, the Joker one, the first one you started off with, and Harley, that's John Boy Myers, and he will be there as well.
Okay.
So I'm pulling them up so I can zoom in on them. That's Derek Chew. That's Derek Chew on the Amazing Spider-Man 26 with Gwen, Black Cat, and Mary Jane. 26, I think, is also the death of Kamala Khan. But anyway, so
that's Chew. Okay, see, I was wrong on both counts.
That's Derek Chew there. That Venom Lethal Protector is Venom fighting Dr. Doom. Is pretty dope looking.
Oh, see, I can't even make that artwork out.
And that kind of looks like Alan Qua.
Then the last one's down here. Miss Me Out. I'm sure I've seen this one at cons. I know I've seen this World's Finest #1 connecting cover, or it's actually more of a mirror cover. $30 each. Seems a
Yeah,
little
so
high.
those are Miko Suayan covers,
Mm.
and he will be there as well. So
Betty and Veronica, Friends Forever.
that
#1.
looks like Tyndale right there.
Maybe, like I said, it's so small. I just
Well,
can't.
I'm just if you see me moving my fingers on the screen,
I'm not, because I'm over on the other screen.
okay, because I'm looking. I'm just looking at the various things. I'm pinching and zooming on the screen. That's how I'm pulling it up.
Mm.
And that the Batman Deadly Duo thing, that's going to be Mark Silvestri, who's going to be there. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay, that'd be cool.
it's a graveyard full of Joker
Oh, I can tell that now.
with
Yeah.
graffiti
Okay.
all over them. So it's pretty dope looking.
Okay.
I'll probably get one of those. And so yeah, that's of course Black Panther, as we mentioned with the FF. You can get a Virgin or the trade dress. I tend to lean more to the trade dress, but unless it takes away from it, and I just like the classic looking trade dress on that
Yeah.
one. If I was going to get it,
I mean, I'm getting them both because I'm an FF fan, and I'm gonna have to get this if this is Doctor Doom, and maybe get that signed. So there's what that be, $40. So there's $80 right there before I walk in the freaking front door.
hey Shelby, take Phil's name off the screen. He said, all right, I've been here for a little while. You can take my name off the screen.
So anyway, yeah. So some exclusives. If there's anything y'all were looking for, I've already had a few people send me some requests for things. I'll really quick. Hold on. I'll stop screen sharing, but then I'll share. So I know I've had a couple of people already ask me to get some autographs for them. So we are going to upcharge you a little bit. Not too much. I think $5 worth our time or something. But we will have some things for sale afterwards. So Art Germ, Tinian, Silvestri, Josh Williamson, Donnie Cates, of course, Kevin Smith if he shows up. I want to get some Joshua Cassara. That I just love his artwork, and I forgot to look for some things. Jay Lee, Inhook Lee, Mitch Gerards.
Gerard's, and when we had clicked on his name the other day, it said unable to attend, but they haven't moved his name to that bottom of the list saying unable to attend, and I think they realized they had left that on there from another show. So notice it's not on there now because I was wondering about that because I had seen somewhere where he was doing some signings with somebody there. So I'm glad I went ahead and brought the stuff I wanted him to sign anyway. And I said, if he's not there, I'll just bring it back, no problem. But so
no. Dale Adaria, the artist for Something's Killing Children and House of Slaughter. Kyle New, Alan Qua, Tedesco, Choi. I did not bring any good books. I'm going to probably buy something there. Okay, there's that Spider-Man number 26 or 27, whichever one it is. Exclusive, convention exclusive, Derek Chew.
Yep.
Tate Tomball. Is he what's he on the House of Slaughter?
Artist.
Is he an artist? Okay.
Yeah.
Frank Blanco, who's doing the art for World. Clayton Crane, Sam De La Rosa, Javier Fernandez. I don't know this guy, but I like this picture. Brian Haberlin.
Yeah,
looks really cool. John Yang. Again, another artist I'm not familiar with, Isaac Goddard.
Yeah, so he's done a couple like young adult graphic novels. Um, I actually got the last year. I got the one for Victor Fries and his wife. Like it's not canon or whatever, but it was pretty neat. And he actually did a remark on my Justice League Jam piece that I did with Wonder Woman.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's cool. We also have the Art Germ crew. So if you notice, it says here Art Germ Collectibles. So we have Wee Kate, Kinkuak Lim, and Lyrics Lee. I really like this Mary Marvel. I really like this. This is a Carnage cover, and of course Santana. So, oh, there's John Boy Myers with that you were talking about.
yeah,
Tony Moy, hey, doing a Doctor Doom there.
he does some great watercolor stuff. He'll have some stuff already pre-ready to sell. I think he takes commissions generally at the shows he's at.
Belin Ortega, that's Something is Killing the Children. I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with his work. Martin Sims, Department of Truth artist. Old school guy, Joe Rubenstein. Brent Peebles. Miko Suan. Jamie Tyndall. White Widow. And Ariel Diaz. Big one for me. So I'm just kind of picking out the ones that are kind of big for me. You can stop me whenever.
No, go ahead.
Ryan Kincaid. I didn't pick up any of his stuff to get signed today. So I might need to find some things at the show. So
I was trying to find that. I was trying to find that Mary Marvel cover because I think it's on one of the newer deceased stuff.
For who?
One of those Art Germ crew people.
Oh, for the Mary. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, great group of artists. I think it's just as good as it was last year. And a lot of repeat customers from last year. But yeah, real excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Hopefully, there's a lot of. So that's that cover is for DC versus Vampires All Out War #2.
Oh, the Mary Marvel one, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, but yeah, so hopefully there's going to be a lot of. I know that some of the bigger celebrity draws are going to be on Saturday only, which is great because that means that Friday might be not as well attended, which Fridays typically aren't. But it would be great for us to be able to get those sketches lined up, the signatures done before the big crowd tomorrow, and then Saturday be a wrap up day because Shelby nor I will be actually here Sunday.
No.
So,
yep, we both live 4+ hours away from here, so we got to have a day of rest. We're old, and so we got to have that day of recovery before we hit the road again on Monday. With work and all that stuff. So,
yeah. But I do appreciate everybody for coming and hanging out with us as we show off some of our stuff. Be sure to hit us up on the IGs if you're going to be in the Dallas Fan Expo tomorrow or Saturday.
We'll be looking for you.
Yep. Probably be going live. I know that we're going to be putting some video footage together for after the con. I know that Carlos Collects is going to be doing a recap tomorrow night on his channel, and then also on Saturday night. Now, talking about Carlos Collects channel, I'm actually taking over next Monday, this coming Monday. Carlos will be out of pocket. You can't put things in Paul's hands but so many times unless you just want your channel to be demonetized and taken off YouTube. So we'll see how fast we can do that for Carlos. So, but no, it's going to be a fun time. So the Monday night, the Monday Halls video show, I will be there. Weapon X will be there. I think maybe one or two other people will be there as well. So come check that out if you are available Monday night. And yeah, that's all I got. What you got, Shelby?
Hey, check out Southern said last year. So this is number 2 for us, right? So last year we did the same thing. And check out this video from last year, a little post-show video from last year. I know there's one also on Southern's channel that we did where I even did like a 3-minute video showing some celebrities and things like that that I had put together and everything. So yeah, go check that out. If you haven't subscribed to me or Southern, please hit that sub button. Doesn't cost you a thing. I hear it increases your sperm count. I don't know, but you know, I feel more fertile.
Well, we're not even going to go there for Shelby. Shelby has a way of it goes down this like really weird path really quick. So appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Till next time, keep reading, keep collecting.
All right.
Peace, love, comics.
That's right. Peace, love, and comics.